accepting one thing to me, and you guys, I would love to hear your thoughts, is different than accepting it and then letting go of it.
Yeah.
Hello, my little bear cubs, and welcome back to another episode of Secondhand Therapy. We need to remind you that we are not therapists. We are not experts. This is not a substitute for therapy. This is not advice in any way. Not professional advice in any way.
You messed up.
I fucked up my lines.
Wow, dude. Dude.
Yeah, dude.
Damn.
Say some stuff. I'm trying not to sneeze.
Well, you know, wow. That was
God. You're not going to get that on Patreon.
You're sure not. That's definitely cut out on Patreon. You can also head on over to Patreon for early access to episodes, ad-free episodes. And, my new little podcast is also ad-free over there. Happy Not Funny. If you're into comedy and therapy and all that fun stuff, that's on there. And also another completely different podcast that is non-therapy related called The Other Shit Show, which is him and I just shooting the shit and busting balls and talking about life in general.
I saw a guy at the grocery store. He was shopping with a pigeon on his shoulder.
That's
you want to hear about that? Over there. You want the picture of the pigeon? It's over there.
It's on Patreon, baby.
Here's the thing. Sign up for Patreon. You get little treats now.
Oh, yeah, you get treats.
Sign up for the ad-free tier. I'm going to send you a sticker.
Get stickers.
Okay? Now, I'm tired of people telling me that I spent too much time designing the sticker because I didn't. It's a cool sticker.
It's very cool.
You sign up for the second tier, you get the sticker, and then you get a little print. I also designed. It took some time. It looks cool. We're going to sign that. We're going to send that to you. You sign up for the highest tier where you get to hang out with us via live stream once or twice a month. We will also send you a t-shirt. So go check out Patreon. A lot of goodies, a lot of good content.
Here's a little secret about the sticker.
No.
Can I just a hint?
No.
Just
what?
A little
maybe
gold trim.
Yeah. That's true.
That's enticing, I think. I think people, I got to know, what's the stick? What is it? Gold trim. Very fancy.
That's what we all called your mom in high school.
Oh, we got the gold trim.
Gold trim. Gold plated. She was cheap. Okay. We have a guest.
We do have a guest.
We should have done the guest first.
Yeah.
I got excited.
Yeah.
It's a cool sticker after all. Gina Martin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've heard of Gina. You probably have because she's everywhere.
Big deal.
Big deal. She is a British, now living in Australia, gender equality activist. She is a writer and facilitator, very well known for her work fighting gender stereotypes, misogyny, and sexual violence. She is responsible for making upskirting illegal in England and Wales, and 3 countries then followed suit. Good for them.
And she has a new book out.
She's a writer. She's published 3 books.
Yeah.
Has a new book out, has one of the best-selling Substacks. Check her out, Gina Martin. She now works in schools all across Australia, trying to get men to be better. And,
saving the world.
Hey, we support that mission.
We do.
Gina Martin is here. All her information, links in the episode description below. Seriously, check her out. It's worth your time. She's great. Anything else?
No.
We have merch available, secondhandtherapypod.com, if you want a way to support the podcast. Other than that, listen to this conversation. Gina's smarter than both of us.
That's true.
Yep. Hello, my little bear cubs, and welcome back.
Secondhand Therapy.
And we know that. I'm going to be honest with you about one thing. Mm-hmm. I have been going through your Instagram today, and I watched your TED Talk. I'm a little intimidated right now. I'm going to be honest with you.
Oh, why? Because I was crying on it, and I was like...
No.
Why do you feel?
No, you're allowed to cry.
Thank you.
I don't know. I'm hoping I can keep up with you.
Oh, you can.
I hope.
Mate, you should. It took me about 5 months to learn that TED Talk.
Well, it was incredible. It was.
Thank you.
It was very moving.
That's very kind. Thank you.
I'm just gonna do it. What is misogyny?
Oh, nice. Before the name even.
You know?
What is misogyny? Misogyny is defined as either the unconscious or conscious hatred of women. That's kind of the definition of it. But I think there's probably a more useful way of thinking about it. Because I think when you define it that way, I think a lot of people go, I don't hate women. So that therefore I don't actively hate women, so therefore actively I couldn't be a misogynist, or there couldn't be any misogyny in me.
So how would you change the definition?
I like to think of it for the purposes of both the person I want to be in the world and kind of, I guess, like excavating it in myself, and also for my work as more the policing of femininity in women, so how they should be. So either the punishment or the kind of control or the expectation of how women or femininity should present or should be. And that allows me to go like, oh, I've done that. You know, like I did that in high school. I still feel that come up in myself. But I think when I see it as like this pure hatred, I don't recognize that in myself as much, maybe.
Is it more like the microaggression kind of stuff that maybe people aren't thinking is either punishment or aggression towards women, that they're not like, consciously being like, I don't hate women, because they're not seeing like these little things that are actually hatred.
For sure. I think there's a whole spectrum of behavior that comes from misogyny. I don't think that we grow up, I don't believe we can grow up without some form of misogyny, because we live in a very misogynistic society that's a very unequal society that kind of sees women and femininity in a specific way. So it can be microaggressions, it can be expectations you place on the women in your life that could like restrict them or harm them in some way. It can be unconscious, it can be completely conscious, it can be, you know, all the way up to extreme violence, or it can be just that kind of language that's really normalized that dehumanizes women to a certain extent, but in a very low level normalized way. I think the definition is pretty like set, but the way that lives or looks or happens in interpersonal relationships and in systems and in society, it's very varied.
So you mentioned the spectrum of it. So I would assume one end of the spectrum is non-consensual sexual violence.
Yeah.
What is the other end?
So I would think of it, one end would be, non-consensual sexual violence, any kind of extreme violence, actually. So like, intimate partner violence, domestic violence. I
think that's a good point. That's a good thing to mention. Thank you.
Yeah, because I think it's understandable that you go there first, right? Because like we see that so much. When it comes to like gendered violence, like we see sexual violence so much. But there's a pyramid that's really useful to look at, which kind of shows it in that perfect pyramid shape, with the very top pointy end of it is that extreme violence, which is like murder, rape, sexual violence. And then as it goes down the pyramid, you get things like harassment, stalking, coercive control. And then underneath that, you get things like very rigid gender roles. So these ideas that like women should be in the kitchen, driven out of public life in some way. Underneath that, you get things like what you'd call like everyday misogyny and sexism. So like locker room talk, or like rating women out of 10, or banter or whatever. And then under that, you get like language that is very low level dehumanizing. And then at the bottom, it's got things like misogyny, racism. And so it's kind of like shows you the stepping stones that get us to the violence. What are the things that like normalize the culture that allows violence to happen, right? So maybe I would say on one side, you've got that really extreme violence. And then on the other side, or the bottom of the pyramid, you've got that real normalization of like gender roles, dehumanizing people, expectations placed on people because of their identity in society. And that leads to violence at the end of the pyramid. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. So even things as like when you hear men sometimes be like, well, she's my wife, so she's got a blah, blah, blah. Like that is on the spectrum of that.
Yeah, it's an expectation of how someone should act or show up, or a role they should play that you've been told they should do because of their gender or the way the world sees their gender. It's like, I'm a wife. I can't fucking cook, man. I can't cook nothing. And there is judgment around that. There's like so much judgment around the fact that I don't enjoy it. I'm like the thinky person who's doing all that stuff. I'm not the practical person who's doing the domestic stuff. My partner does all that. But it's interesting, even that, when people see that, they're like, that's interesting. It must be hard for him. And he's like, I fucking love cooking. And I'm like, I hate that shit.
Yeah.
Like, but even that, in that moment, we're like, that's not the script. That's not the way it should go.
So who do you think is the bigger culprit then for misogyny? Do you think it is a social thing that's getting passed down to us, or do you think it is just that like generational thing, or you know what I mean, like that friends and family circle, like expectations?
I'm a big, I run my work by like two things, which is like I'm very big on like, I'm hard on systems and I'm gentler on people. Like people are moving or behaving or expecting certain things because of systems that they've grown up in, like our parents did, our grandparents did. And there's another kind of way of seeing this that when it comes to people, I'm really big on, which is like, how do you hold someone accountable, but also like believe in their ability to change? Like you humanizing them enough to believe that they can change. So I'm quite soft on people. I'm like, it makes sense why people are doing these things. Doesn't mean you don't hold people accountable. They don't challenge people. But this is a system thing. You don't have misogyny without the organization of gender roles and how we organized people historically to build an economic system. You guys are in America, so like, you know, the birth of kind of the economic system.
Boo. I hate it.
Hey, I'm from Britain, so it's cool.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're related, don't worry.
Yeah, the original America.
I'm the original America, yeah, it's wild there. Yeah, there's so much history here as to how we got to where we are with this, that I just think it doesn't make sense to kind of try and place this primarily on people or on families or on, and actually when you do that, I think it's quite relieving because you're like, oh, there's systems at play here. There's personal responsibility, yes, but there's also a whole bunch of reasons why we have these ideas and we expect people to play these roles, and you know.
I think that leads in like, well, how do we change it? How do we change the big system things? I mean,
Wish I could.
that's the question, right?
Mate, that is the big question. And it's, yeah, I'm going to spend the rest of my life trying to kind of make some change in that cultural part of it. So I work in, I've worked in both the system stuff and I've worked in individual stuff. So I used to work in law reform and campaigning. So like holding institutions and powerful people accountable. I worked to change law in the UK. I changed policies at social media companies. And now I work in preventative. I work with kids now and do workshops in schools around gender stereotypes and gender roles. And so there's so many different ways of attacking it, right? Like people need intervention and education to understand the system that they're part of or who they want to be outside of what they're being told they should be. Like I did a workshop yesterday with a bunch of year 10 boys, and like it was the best workshop. Like they were just like, miss, I think like a lot of women are told they should kind of please men and perform for men, but I actually think a lot of us are just performing for each other. I was like, holy shit, this is year 10 boys, right? Like they're really reflect, like when you give them the space and time that they do, and the place not to feel defensive, but you give them the like real compassionate space for them to figure this stuff out, you get really amazing realizations they come to. And that's like a cultural shift. Like if you can get enough young people to really unpack that stuff, and like you guys do, but like in a way that's appropriate for them, and think about the way they're being told they should be, especially with the culture of boys in high school and stuff, that's really valuable. At the same time, like we do need policy change, we do need law change, like we do need economic shifts, like we do need frontline services. Like there's so much to this that has, because it's been built from every angle, so it has to be attacked from every angle. So I don't think there's like a one answer to that. And if I had it, I wouldn't have a job, which I'd love, because I'd love to just be a painter and not do this work, to be honest. It's quite heartbreaking a lot of the time. But yeah, it would just be so nice if we could just answer that and say, this way. I would love that. But I think it's really more complex than that.
How long have you been working with kids?
2.5 years in schools. I mean, I worked with kids beforehand, but I didn't work in the same capacity I do now.
Oh, I understand. What age have you found being around young males that they start to become influenced in their behaviors toward women or the idea of women. What age have you observed that happening in?
It's a great question.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. You guys always ask good questions
Thank
with
you.
each other. I work with year 9s to year 12, so we're looking at like early teens to sort of late teens that I work with. It happens a lot earlier than that. So I'm coming in schools at a stage where we're already seeing those problems happening. In terms of if you were, let's be specific with language, if we're talking about like misogyny and like homophobia and they're kind of bonding through those kind of mechanisms and boys really feeling like they need to, there's an expectation for them to act in like certain masculine ways. That's kind of happening. It starts to happen around puberty, but it's happening before I get in there. I reckon year 7 and 8, you can already see that.
Wow.
But we know from research that young...
Yeah, that kind of checks out to my memory.
7?
Year 7th grade?
Year 7.
Oh, 7th grade. I thought you were saying like year 7. I
No.
was like, man, that seems earlier because we were talking about puberty and then before. And I was like,
I believe your terminology, year 7 is 7th grade for us.
Correct.
And year 9, year 12 is high school.
I took it as actual year 7, like 7 years old.
Well, interestingly, like the gender stuff happens around 6 or 7. Kids start to really understand the way they're meant to behave based on their gender. That's different to like policing girls and misogyny, isn't it? But like we do see with like girls around the age of 6 and 7, while girls might be quite expressive in their humanity as young kids, like they're very loud and boisterous, we see there's lots of research around the age of 6 and 7 with girls that they start to go like, oh, actually, I need to be well-mannered and mature and I need to stay quieter and I shouldn't say everything I think and don't have big feelings. And there's a bunch of that happens around 6 or 7. But I think the kind of policing of gender probably happens as they get into puberty and like, grade 7 or like we'd say year 7. So like 11, 12 as they're moving into puberty.
So when she said year 9 through year 12 and said late teens, what happened?
I was thinking puberty into late teens because puberty happens around 11, 12-ish.
All right.
Yeah, depending on the kid, yeah.
Just curious what happened.
Leave me alone.
Yeah. Yeah, those late teen 12-year-olds.
Those late teen 12-year-olds, they're running havoc out there. I'm telling you. Hooligans.
Yeah. Hooligans.
Wild. They are actually, to be fair. Some of them are a bit wild. I did a workshop with year 8s recently, and this boy was just consistently headbutting my leg. So, like, you never know.
Yeah.
You had, I think it was in your TED Talk, you had a great line of when you said, it's not all men, but it's too many men. My question is...
Name them.
Well, a lot of them are here. Merca, I fucking hate it.
Merca.
Anyway, I actually have 2 questions.
Ooh.
Number 1, have you spent a lot of time in America? That's not the question, but that is a question.
That's a third bonus question.
Yeah.
No, my mum and dad used to live in New York before they had us, so we used to go to New York, but not enough time, no.
Okay. Well, from what you know of this shithole, how would you compare the culture with regards to misogyny and the treatment of women to where you live now? You live in Australia.
I live in Australia. Australia is like a very Americanized Britain.
Ugh.
It's like someone
The
just
worst
took
of both worlds.
I know. I moved to the worst of both worlds. No, they took it. It's genuinely like when I first moved, I was like, oh my God, they just took America and the UK and smashed them together. And actually, when you look at the history of how America came to be, that makes a lot of sense. Australia, why Australia came to be, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I think I'm someone who tries to make sure I don't answer questions I don't fucking know answers to.
Oh, this is the right show to do that.
Yeah. Like
Absolutely.
I'm
We
always
are not experts at all.
Neither am I in everything. And I'm asked
Beautiful.
often to be like, what do you think about this? And I'm like, I don't know, because I'm in schools in Australia. And I've been to America 6 times. It's like, there's literally no way I could make that analysis. Do you know what I mean? There's people in so much better place to do that. But I would say that, like, misogyny is everywhere. And I think it, like, shows up differently on, you know, depending on, like, the cultural context of a place and the historical context of a place and what's politically happening in that moment. There's all kinds of, like, things that feed into that. But there's so much similarity across the West in the way that misogyny shows up, whether that's America, Australia, the UK. I don't think anyone's really free of it. And definitely in the West, we have that's the kind of misogyny that I understand because of the work I do.
Hello, my little bear cubs. We have a new sponsor, and that new sponsor is BetterHelp.
Yes.
BetterHelp is an online resource for therapy.
Yeah.
And I don't know if
Who would have guessed it?
Who would have guessed it? I don't know if you know about the show, but we're actually very pro therapy around here. Very pro therapy.
That is the rumor that's going around.
It's helped me a lot.
Really? Tell me more.
It really has. You don't notice a change in me? Is that what you're saying?
I do.
Okay, then. Has it helped you?
Absolutely. I'm in BetterHelp right now, and my therapist is awesome.
Your therapist sounds pretty great. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, I'm so happy with him. And like whenever we have to reschedule or something changes, it's so easy. It's like literally like 2 clicks and it's done.
I have to call mine.
Ugh. Boo.
It's terrible. But here's what I will say. I was always very much an in-person therapy kind of setup for myself.
Yeah.
I'm on telehealth now. Way better.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, doing therapy like from your couch or like where you're in your space where you're comfortable. Oh, dude, I'm doing way better.
That's one of the best parts of BetterHelp is that I get to do it from my cozy little corner chair.
Yeah.
I dim the lights. I light a candle. It is therapy time.
Yeah. I don't ever want to go back to a therapy office again. So that's where we're at. Now, since they are a new sponsor of ours, they were nice enough to give us a little discount code for you to use. So
ooh, a little treat.
Yeah, if you're hearing this, maybe you're in between insurance and you would like to start some therapy, or maybe you've never been to therapy and you really want to try it out. BetterHelp's a really good start. They make it easy to find and pair up with somebody, and it's very affordable. So if you want to give it a shot, you can use the discount code they gave us. You can go to betterhelp.com/secondhand therapy or just betterhelp.com, and it'll ask you where you heard about it. Choose secondhand therapy. They'll give you 10% off your first month. Try it out. Start your healing journey. Changed my life. Did it change your life?
I'm changed.
He's changing. Okay, so with you being, and this might be another hard question to answer, I feel a bit dumb asking it, but I'm going to do it. It sounds like you're pretty well traveled.
Relatively, I'd say, yeah.
Okay. So of all the places you've been to, is there a place that stands out to you where, as a woman, you felt remarkably safer compared to other places?
That's so interesting. Like, I just assumed you were going to ask the place I felt the least safe, so that was a really lovely question.
Thank you.
It was nice to answer that. It's a really sad answer. I don't think I've ever been anywhere where I felt in public like just safe. Really,
That's why I felt kind of dumb asking it. That's why.
No, but I think it's important to ask it, right? Because it's like important for me to reflect on that and even say that. Like, I don't know that I've ever been like, there's never been somewhere where I've been like, this place is for the women. Like, I don't think I've ever felt like that in public.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, it's a hard one.
Yeah, that is sad. I feel sad.
Yeah, me too. I feel like I have a lot of safety in my life, lots of emotional safety, psychological safety, a lot of safe people. I have a very beautiful, safe, I don't know, my family, like, it's just like they're just too good. So I'm very lucky to have all that. But places, yeah, I've not felt safe in that many places.
Have you always had the instinct of picking the people in your life that give you safety, or is that something you had to learn?
I've I've always had the instinct. I've got like an extraordinary. You hear people talk about privilege a lot. We don't talk about the privilege of having very safe parental figures in your life who also fucking love each other. Like my mum and dad love each other, man. Like they're like play. They're like friends. Like that's like I grew up with that. So I think I had a relatively healthy internal model for what relationships should look like. And I've picked like my friends. I've had this like, I don't know, like my friends are like just everyone's very like, all my relationships are they're like vulnerable and like quite connected and like loving and playful. And it's quite wholesome, I feel like, about my relationships. I haven't had to learn that because I didn't have to unlearn something, like I just kind of saw that growing up. Yeah.
I'm so jaded in my head when you said my parents really love each other. I was like, no, they don't. It's a show.
Yeah, of course. Because
Yeah.
it's like, it is rare. Like when I was a kid, I didn't think that was rare. And as I grew up, I was like, fuck, that's rare that I go home and mum and dad like playing. They're like having a laugh and playing with each other. Like that's the environment I grew up in. That's really rare.
Well, good for you.
No, fuck you.
Thanks for coming on. That was
I'll
fun.
tell you about my hard times. I'll tell you about all the hard times.
Your newest work, this book that you just put out, Loving and Hating Men.
Yeah.
I'm curious about the emotions behind that work. Is it, because just from like the title, you would assume anger, but it can't all be anger, right? It has to be some grief in there. There has to be there's quiet emotions in there.
Yeah.
What do you think is that major emotion behind that work?
My God. Why did I write?
I'm going to say.
Okay.
Good question.
Oh, thank you.
It's a good question.
I love the affirmation. Well, I think anger is a secondary emotion, right? Like anger comes up because there's something already there. It's like for me, and I think for a lot of people, it's like the feeling that's like easier to feel than the thing that's behind it, right? So like
mine's always hurt.
Yeah. Like a lot of
Anytime I'm angry, I'm always hurt.
Right. Like I'm often like fearful or like there's a lot of grief, I'd say, in my feelings towards this work and like why I'm doing it and like the experiences I've had that have led me to do it and the experiences of women that I love that have led me to do it. Like there's a lot of grief there probably. But I think this project, I wrote to Hate and Love Men because I was just seeing like a very strong polarity in like masculinity movements happening. Women should be like showing up for men in that way and go and help them, or like just loads of people being like, fuck men, fucking don't give a shit, men are trash. And I was like, cool, neither of those are like helpful. So let's like have a conversation about the middle bit. Like where's the nuance in this? Because I wanted to offer that to a lot of the women that reach out to me and have followed my work or needed my work to be like, hey, like it's okay to have feelings of hatred or anger towards a community that continue to harm you. It's also okay to be able to hold the reality that you fucking love men too and you believe in them and you believe that men can grow and there's loads of great men, and all of those things can coexist at the same time. You don't have to pick a fucking side because social media isn't real life, kind of. Like this work, that's not a politic. It's not a politic to be like, actually, I'm fuck men, or be like, actually, I think everyone, like infantilize men to be like, they can't do their own work. Because I know many great men who are doing all that work. So let's have a conversation about how we can hold all of that complexity. And I wanted to write a book that recognized that women are holding, and marginalized people are holding, a lot of complexity in being able to navigate all these changes that are happening in terms of gender relations and everything we're seeing. Like that's a lot. So I think the main emotion, because I haven't answered your question, because I was like, I'll think about it because that'll be nicer than feeling what you've asked me.
Yeah.
I think like, what's the emotion? Maybe it's like, maybe I should have known that before I wrote the book. I think maybe it's like, what's the emotion when people are arguing and you can see from both sides and you're like, I just want you guys to be okay. What's that emotion? That's the emotion with the book. It's like
childhood. Is that the emotion?
Yeah, that's that you're describing our parents that we saw growing up.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think that sounds like empathy to me.
Yeah, maybe empathy. Maybe there's a bit of like fear in there. Like, this isn't going to be okay if we can't find a way to be nuanced here and work together with this. Like, maybe there's a bit of unsafe. I feel a lot of my work comes from the fact that I feel unsafe. I do a lot of this work. My therapist has helped me realize that is that like I was like, oh, I'm doing this because I'm super passionate about it. She was like, yeah. And then after 4 years of work, we also realized it's also because I feel really unsafe, and it helps me feel like I'm more safe if I do this work. So I think the book is a bit that. It's a bit like maybe there's a bit
cathartic for you. It sounds like
yes, it's cathartic. There's a bit of desperation actually. There was a bit of desperation in why I read that book. A bit of like, I really need us to understand that this is complex and it's okay. Like, we can both lovingly and compassionately hold men accountable in our lives and ask men to work on this thing, and at the same time we can believe in their growth and we can hold people accountable and we can explain things and not justify them. Like, we can do all of these things. Let's talk about how we do that as a community, because there's space for that. So I think there's desperation there. Maybe that's probably what it was.
Interesting. Desperation.
Yeah,
that's interesting. I never think of desperation as like an emotion, but that makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, especially if somebody is fearful or feeling unsafe, that desperation of like wanting it to be better or wanting to fix it in order to feel safe.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And there's a
I
lot
feel
of
sad again.
Yeah, well, same, all the time. There's also a lot of empathy in that. There's a lot of like hope. There's desperation, but there's like empathy and hope there. There's like, I understand why we all are struggling with this, but like, I believe that this can be better. And I think I think this work is a lot about traversing all of that, like what you're feeling, like that sadness of being like, everything's fucked, that despair, and always being able to like be okay with feeling that and also feel like a level of hope and belief in building something better. Like, that's a really hard thing to navigate, but you have to feel both all the way through this work because it's all about those things.
Do you always feel hope, or is it something you have
No.
to search for sometimes? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I don't. Like, it would be weird. I wouldn't be engaging with the realities of what this work asks me to engage with if I always felt hope. I'd be like, are you doing this right if you feel hope all the time? Like, because the things I have to engage with are really fucking heartbreaking and sad. But there's also like so much hope in this. Like, the act of doing this work means that I get access to so many other people who like really deeply understand this stuff and are doing this work. Like, I know people who have like stopped like oil fields in the North Sea. Like, they're my friends. I know some of the people on the Freedom Flotilla. Like, I know people who are going in and doing frontline work with sexual assault survivors. I know people who do this work every day. And I'm like, there's this decentralized group of people who are just like committing their lives to making this thing better every day. And it works. It's not about a zero-sum game. It's not like we end the thing, we stop all misogyny, and we, of course, that's never going to happen. But like, the impact you can have on a person's life can change their life. Like, genuinely. Those frontline workers, the workshops, the law change when someone can actually use the law to protect themselves after something happens. Like, those things change people's worlds, and like, that's enough, And like, if you can do that for enough people, or you can create enough momentum, there's so much hope in that. So I get to see that all the time. So I think there's a lot of hope that's created that I get to see. And then the work that I do creates hope for other people. And I think it's like, hope is more of like a community action than it is like this kind of nebulous thing I'm like constantly trying to hold on to. It's like, I see it as we all create it for each other, and we all sustain each other by doing that because the work needs to be done, kind of thing.
I'm going to ask you a question because I tend to operate usually from a point of pessimism. When you have an experience with somebody and you can see that you didn't make an impact.
Yeah.
Is that defeating, or are you able to understand that's just part of the process or something else?
No, that's defeating. That's the human response to that. Like I do workshops, and more of the workshops I do are not the one I had yesterday, where I come out of it and I'm like, fuck, like that was so, like most of them are, I'm like, did they get anything from that? Like, well, there'll be boys and they'll, like, I've had boys say like, fuck shit. I've had boys make rape jokes about me in workshops and like pass around notes about me, all kinds of
Oh
stuff.
my God.
Like in those moments, or like they're so tapped out or they're so apathetic. The apathy really gets me, that like couldn't give a fuck thing. And yeah, that's in that moment and on that day, like, yeah, I feel defeated. I'm also lucky enough to have done like a lot of training around trauma therapy, like trauma-informed training and like some psychotherapy and like stuff for working with kids. So I also am always like, what's going on with that child? Like, why is this child so apathetic? Why is this child so angry? Why is this child so, like, there's reasons for all of that, right? That I can't always understand.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. What your instinctual explanation is for apathy like that? It sounds like it's got to be environment.
Yeah, there's a lot of reasons for apathy. I think apathy makes a lot of sense in the society we live in too. I think it's very painful to engage with the reality of the society we live in and what's happening and what systems we live in and what's happening to people. And it's hard for people to engage with how they feel. It's hard for us to face ourselves for a multitude of different reasons. So it's really hard to then zoom out and be like, oh my God, like all of this is, what the fuck are we meant to do? You feel powerless, right? Like apathy is it can be like a really protective thing, because it can be like, oh, I don't have to, I'll just do my little thing. I'll live my little life. I don't care, because to care is to feel. Sometimes to feel is really painful. Like it's easier not to. So I think apathy serves a function to make a lot of people more comfortable, and I don't blame them for that. But with young people, or the young people that I've worked with and I continue to work with, there's just so much going on for them, hey? Like there's a lot of apathy, I think, because they live in essentially like a surveillance state. Like they are in school, like we were, but they are in school with social media where literally anything that they do or say at any point could be like broadcast to everyone. And they are terrified of judgment to a degree that maybe was the same in school when I was there, but I was a child and I didn't have the skills, so I don't know. I can't remember. But the apathy is very much just don't give anything, because I'm safer if I just don't give anything. If I don't care about anything, you can't hurt me. Like there's a lot of that in classrooms. And I don't blame them for that, but it makes it really hard to engage them in the work. But then,
It's almost a coping mechanism.
Yeah. Say that again.
It sounds like the apathy is almost a coping mechanism.
I think it is for a lot of adults. It is for a lot of people. Yeah. You shut down because you're like, this is too much to think about and deal with. I'm scared. I don't feel safe thinking about all this.
Are you taking Maca yet?
I am.
And?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah?
I'm only on day 3.
Yeah.
Which
one are you taking? Are you on the black?
Yeah.
I do the black too. I do the black and I do the tri-blend.
Ooh, you do too.
I do too.
Okay.
Well, technically 3, because the blend is a blend of 3.
Okay, well.
So if you don't know about Maca, it is a root native to Peru. It grows in 3 colors, black, red, and yellow. Or yellow. Or yellow. Yellow or yellow. I take the black and I take the tri-blend. My girl takes the red and you take the black.
I do.
Typically, yeah. Men take the black, women take the red, and then you intersperse the tri-blend. But it has a lot of benefits. I've been taking it daily for a little over a year. I have noticed a lot. Mood, skin, hair, energy. If you've heard testosterone, libido, I've had a lot of improvements.
Yeah.
All true. And I get my Maca, and I have been from a company called the Maca Team. They are the biggest supplier of genuine maca from Peru, the biggest supplier in America. And they are nice enough to partner with us and give a discount code if you want to try out maca. You can go to the macateam.com/secondhand therapy, and you can use code BEARCUB for 10% off.
Ooh, fancy.
So, yeah, if you want to try some maca, try it out. Dudes, try the black. Ladies, try the red. Or try the tri. But at least go to the website, read about it, see if you might want to do it. It's not pharmaceutical. It's all natural. I've been taking it for over a year. I like it. You're 3 days in. You're less annoying. So we did it.
We did it.
themacateam.com/secondhand therapy. Check it out.
Hey, if you're tired of hearing these ads, which I'm sure you are, you should head on over to Patreon. There are ad-free episodes and early access to episodes. You could be hearing this a week early, along with access to an entirely different podcast. Some would say a better one called The Other Shit Show.
It is fun.
It's non-therapy related.
It is fun.
Super fun. Plus you have early access.
It is fun.
To my new podcast series, Happy Not Funny, and it's ad-free episodes on that as well. Plus
Also fun.
Merch discounts.
Also fun.
Live show things where we interact with the audience.
Live streams is what he's trying to say. We are not going on tour.
Yeah, that's true. What did I say?
He said live shows.
Well, same, you know?
Nope.
It's like a live show.
Nope.
It's like a Zoom.
Okay.
Anyways, you'll have access to us in a more intimate manner.
Intimate.
How about that?
Intimate? There's no end.
Yeah,
at the
like
end of
the
intimate.
like the candies.
Intimate.
Yeah.
Also, if you sign up, you get a little treat.
Oh yeah.
So check out the different tiers. One of the tiers is just if you're just here for secondhand therapy, you want no ads, we'll send you a dope little sticker. And I'm going to be honest with you, a lot of time went into designing this sticker.
Yeah.
Too much. You could argue too much. It's a dope sticker, though. So if you sign up for that tier, we'll send you a sticker. The next tier, if you want the other podcast, if you want the bonus stuff from Secondhand Therapy, all the little extras, you get the sticker. And we are going to send you a signed print designed by yours truly. That took way too much time still. It's way too much time. We'll sign it. We'll send it out to you. And then we have the top tier with the live streams. If you want to hang out with us a couple times a month, you get the sticker, the print, and we'll send you a t-shirt that we are not selling or getting anywhere else. So check out Patreon. If you sign up, you get some treats, and it's a good way to support the podcast.
We'll see you over there.
Thanks.
We just were talking with this abortion activist, and one of the disconnects she was having sounds similar to the disconnect that's happening with you, is like, how do we get not only young men, but grown men to give a fuck about women's issues and women's safety and things like that? Like, how do we is it a language thing? Is it an experience thing? Like, how do we connect the dots for these men and boys?
It's a great question. I'm trying to think how we do in our work. How do we have a workshop that we do where we talk about women and girls' experiences and get boys and men to explore that and like empathize and be curious about that. I'm thinking about how we do that. It's not a very attractive or seductive strategy to try and get someone to care about something happening for someone else that they'll never experience. Like, they understand why they should in theory do that, but it's not very motivating. It doesn't it's like, it should be, sure, but it's not. It just practically, that doesn't happen. People care about things when they have an emotional experience or they go through something or it affects them in some way, whether that's nature or that's growing up in the systems and capitalism that we've grown up in a very individualized society. I don't know, because I'm not that smart, but like that's how it goes a lot of the time. And there's something very powerful about getting people to be able to connect their struggle to the other one. Do you know what I mean? Like, yesterday we were talking about gender stereotypes in the workshop, and the workshops aren't a place where we speak. We do a speech, like it's conversations with young people. But the boys were talking about the expectations placed on them in masculinity, and we kind of went through what they were. And when they've understood that, and they understand the bits that they agree with and the bits they want to get rid of, and maybe they start to understand, oh, that's why we do this, and that's why I always feel like I can't say this to my mates because I know my mate's going to make a gay joke, and then I'm going to be like, oh, like when they start to apply it practically to their lives. And then, especially if they start to practice it in the room and their mates affirm them, if they start to be a bit vulnerable or they be a bit honest and their mates get around them and they have an emotional experience, then there's value in that. Okay, I understand what that means. It's no longer just on a whiteboard now. It's like I can see how that lives in me. When they've done that, it's easier to introduce what the female stereotypes are, because it's like they can understand how a stereotype can impact a person because they've already explored that. And then they can start to understand how the male expectations or stereotypes, so don't be vulnerable, be strong, be dominant, get girls, all that kind of stuff, impacts girls and women. It takes away a level of defensiveness because they've had an experience where they understand it. So now they can start to apply that to something else. And you can give them a bit of space for them to start to make connections of like, oh, the male stereotype which causes me problems is also causing problems for women and girls. But if I just got them into a room and went, hey, don't do it, like you should care about women and girls' problems because it's causing issues, they wouldn't fucking listen. Like,
Right.
I think you have to connect people's experiences to the other experience. So when we talk about abortions, like I always want to be like, talk to men about relationships and sexuality and like how do you benefit from abortions and what would have happened if you and your partner hadn't been able to access an abortion, and then be able to talk about that and then talk about the woman's experience and talk about the inequality there, but like make sure that it's inclusive of everyone's experience, because you get much more of I can connect to that now than if I just went, you should care about women's experiences and here's why. You're like, great, that's information, but I don't feel anything from information. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Not
Yeah. No, it's just, yeah, that goes back to the apathy thing. It's like, how do you fix the apathy?
And the apathy is deep. The apathy is deeper than we can't use information to fix apathy. We can't use people. Really, we have to fix the very deep things that are happening in our society. Like, really, it comes down to those like structural, systemic things. People are struggling. People's lives are hard. People are struggling economically. They're struggling emotionally. They're socialized into not feeling a lot. They are dealing with trauma. Like, there's so much happening for people that means that apathy is going to take hold because it's easier, right? And that's why, like, that's where you get real complex and it gets too deep, because it's like this work always goes back to like all that stuff, which is, you know, can't just have a conversation with someone to change something. You have to go and try and change laws and change systems and make society better for people and make it a weller place to live. And it gets very, very deep and complex there, I think.
You said something that stuck out to me in that. It was along the lines of it's hard to get somebody to care about something that they'll never experience themselves, something like that. And I had an experience recently with my partner in our home, and I mean, a very innocuous thing, like, I'll just tell you what happened. That's what we'll do. So we were in the kitchen and I just like smacked her on the butt kind of hard. And like, for me, like, oh, we're being playful, but she had an emotional reaction to it. And like, she and I talked about it, we worked it out, but I was talking about it in therapy, and my therapist asked me if I have ever in my life felt like I could be overpowered. And I haven't. And even though my partner, I know she feels safe with me, like, her nervous system, what happened to her is that somebody did something to her body that she wouldn't be able to stop if I was somebody else. And yeah, so when you said it's hard to change apathy for something you're never going to experience, I thought of my therapist saying, like, yeah, I most likely will never experience the fear of being overpowered by somebody. I'm a very large man. So like, yeah, fuck.
Yeah. Interesting.
Mm.
You've never had that. yeah, like
I've
you haven't had
never
that
worried
felt
about
sense.
somebody. I've never worried about somebody doing something to me that I couldn't stop.
Yeah.
That's never been a thought in my head.
Mhm.
And like the fact that half of the world exists with that fear anytime they're awake is something that I never will be able to comprehend.
Mm. Yeah.
And I want to be able to comprehend it, but I can't. Like, there's no way for me to be able to do. I don't know what that feels like.
Well, you got to go
All
to
I
jail for a little bit, and then you come out.
Bro, I'll be the biggest. I'll be the biggest motherfucker in there. What do you? But yeah, to your
that's
point,
so
yeah, exactly.
true.
It would have
And
to be a like massive change of circumstance for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
And
not my existence.
the difference between like, yeah, like when you said that like we know, because like we know it in our bodies as well. Like I think it's like there's a difference between logically knowing something, like I intellectually and academically know this thing. Like when you guys have, hopefully you felt this, otherwise I'm a weirdo, but in therapy, you know that thing where like your therapist will say something and you're like, yes, I know that, but I don't know that. Like I'm like, yes, I know, but I can't feel that yet. Like it
Yeah.
hasn't integrated somewhat yet.
Mhm.
The experience of being a woman in the world is like such an integrated sense, like felt sense of unsafety. It's not, I think sometimes people think it's like we're walking around being like, I'm thinking in my head, I'm unsafe. It's not. It's like that nervous system, body just never really feel on a level like safe, because you could always be overpowered or something could happen to you. And to your point, equally, to understand that to the extent that you'd maybe want to, it would have to be more than just like I intellectually know that's true. Like you'll never be able
Right.
to feel that, you know, like or have a felt experience that like changes the way your body you feel in your body in the world about that. And that's the hard thing. You can't access that. So you can't ever really understand it on that body level. It's more just I know that's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
Yeah. And I do wonder if, because I mean, I do consider myself a feminist, and I do consider myself a safe man
Yeah.
for women to be around. And I still wonder if my inability to fully understand what we're just talking about, if that does stunt my ability to be the man that I think I am being. So I guess what I'm trying to ask you is, what, in your opinion, you made it clear, none of us are experts here. In your opinion, what can, I'm gonna say me, any man, but myself. Me, I consider myself a safe man. I consider myself a feminist. What can I ask myself or reflect upon to understand any ways that I am still perpetuating an unsafe culture?
Michael's ready to be like, great question.
It was long-winded, but I got there.
Yeah, you went the Michael way, but we got there.
Yeah.
I love. Yeah, it's a great. Well, the question is important, right? Just asking the question is important, and not asking it once, but it being like something that you always come back to. It's like it's something I do as a white woman. Can't ever understand what it would be like to have my opportunities and my movement through the world and how I'm treated defined by my skin color. I can't ever understand that. It's like trying to see out my elbow. Like I'll never be able to understand that. But like me asking that question all the time is part of it. It's like, how can I make sure that, yeah, I'm not, my inability to access that isn't stunting my ability to be like a safe or a comfortable white person, or a white person who's doing the work or is showing up in a way that is always aware.
Are you tired of staring at your phone? Are you addicted to it?
Oh my God.
Are you?
Yeah, well, yeah, like everybody else, sure.
Okay. All right. Well, I got a new. Let me tell these people about my new phone.
Okay.
Okay. It's called the Light phone.
Oh, I've heard about that.
The light. Yeah, you've seen me use it. The Light phone, also known, some people call it a dumb phone. Anyway, it's a smartphone. It has internet. But the internet will only get you navigation. There is no email. There is no social media. Nothing like that. It does calls. It does texts. It does navigation. It has a calendar and a flashlight.
It's like having a BlackBerry again.
Kinda.
Oof.
Yeah.
I love that.
It has a pretty cool camera too, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah?
It's got a dope camera on it. It's got a
Okay.
camera, yeah. Anyway, they were nice enough. They sent us a little discount code if anybody wants to get on the light phone train with us. So there's a link in the episode description for the light phone. And then if you want to pre-order the light phone 3, use code secondhand therapy, all lowercase. Try out a light phone. It's pretty great.
Stop your doom scrolling.
Stop your doom scrolling. Be more present in life. Link down below. Promo code secondhand therapy, all lowercase. Check out a light phone. Join us in the present world.
Can you say the last 5 words of the question? Because there was a way that you articulated that I wanna
There's not a chance I could do it in 5, but the the ballpark of what I was asking is, what can I ask myself, or any man,
yeah.
as someone who considers themselves a safe man and a feminist, what can I ask myself or reflect upon to realize what I could still be doing to perpetuate unsafe culture
Yeah.
or places in the world or anything?
Yeah. I think the questions that I always hope men are asking and want to encourage men to ask are both about themselves and about the system they live in. I think if we just stop at ourselves, we miss out on a whole load of understanding. So say like, okay, if you understand yourself in the way that you go, okay, well, I know the family I was raised in, so now I'm understanding a bunch of the ways I show up, or the ways I understand relationships, or the ways I see things. That's like huge understanding, right? But if you can understand some of the systems that people grow up in, you then understand even more around why your family is the way it is, or why people outside of that are the way they are, or the kind of rules and expectations that they might be living up to that led your dad to maybe partly show up in this way, which then, so there's even like, there's more layers of understanding to the system bit. And I think I always not want, but I would love men to ask more questions about the system they live in, as well as ask questions about themselves. So understanding the patriarchy and understanding the ways in which society is set up is so like illuminating for this type of work, of understanding how you show, because it's so hard to articulate this, but like the men I know that are the safest men, and not just safe men, but men who I'm like, oh, the way you move is actually disrupting the thing. It's even gone past safe, and it's become like the way you move and treat people and the questions you ask and the way you are is kind of actually in the gentlest way disrupting the kind of harmful norms of patriarchy, or what men can be like, are the men who not only understand themselves, but they also understand the way that patriarchy has shaped them, or the way that gender expectations have shaped their masculinity. Because our masculinity as men, or our femininity for me as a woman, is a huge part of why we are the way we are. That we have been taught so much about how we should speak, act, show up in a relationship because of gender. And so if you can understand that system as well as reflect on yourself, I think that really allows you to integrate stuff in a way that you become an even safer person. And it starts to become natural for you to like identify it in the world. You start seeing things and you're like, oh, that's happening because that makes sense, because actually, you know, so I've connected all these dots around gender, I've connected all these dots around history. I can see why men are told this, and this, right? Well, I can see that playing out here, or I could see that playing out with my dad, or I could see that playing out with, and it starts to become natural. And you start to both have a bit of compassion for yourself, because it's not just on you. Systems also have created something here, but you also, you can like move in a way that it's not hyper individual. It's like you understand more than just yourself, and I think that makes you a safer person. Yeah, it's a really, really inarticulate, long way of saying it, but I think men who ask questions about themselves and patriarchy and masculinity are probably some of the safest men that I've worked with and know. Yeah.
So I'm already doing it. That's what I heard.
Hashtag killing it already.
I heard no room for improvement.
Oh, I immediately feel safe. I have to leave.
I wanted to go back to something as well when we were talking about the work that you're doing with the book, and we got into hope and empathy and words like that and emotions like that. It makes me think of.
Does it make you?
It does make me.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
Cunt.
Hang on.
Now that
What
language
was
is
that?
perpetuating
What was that? What
bad
happened
things.
Listen, mate. That's what we say around here.
Dude, mate is such a fucking cool word.
It's a banger. I can't pull it off.
I know. What do we have here, bro?
Mate.
We have bro.
We're
Mate's
so
way
fucking
better.
dumb. God, we're dumb. Go ahead. Sorry.
So we're talking about hope and empathy and things like that with the work that you're doing, which makes me think of the word.
Yeah, he has no control over his feelings. It's all on everybody else.
Oh, I see. I see. I see what's happening. Yeah, okay.
Forgiveness.
Okay, yeah.
What does forgiveness play a role in any of this, or have you found it in there?
Oh, God, no one's
Not
asking
only
me.
for like maybe men, but the institutions or even yourself in this journey that you've been on, saving the world.
Just oh, God, every question's so good. And then I'm like, I have to go
Thank
to
you.
therapy. And you're so welcome. But like, I'm like, how do I've got to go to therapy about that question now. And I want to do, let's just do that for an hour, you know?
We got all night, all morning for you.
What time is it there?
It is almost 8 p.m.
Oh, nice.
It is almost 8 p.m. Tuesday night. It's Wednesday morning for you, yeah?
Yeah. It's midday.
All
for
right,
me.
don't tell us what happens.
Okay. Oh my God. Ha 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 ha. I say that every time I speak to anyone.
Nice.
Yes, forgiveness. I have a very complex relationship with forgiveness for myself.
Some might say the most important forgiveness.
Some might say. I probably would have said years ago, like, I'm good at forgiveness for myself because I was super unaware of myself, and also I have a level of high self-regard but low self-worth. Me and my friend talk about this a lot. I'm like, I've got high self-regard. I'm like, I would be friends with myself if I wasn't myself. I think I'm a relatively compassionate, thoughtful person. I have low self-worth though, in some ways. So I think the forgiveness thing is a bit hard. There's lots of ways I've done this work that as I've grown, I wouldn't do it that way again. And I really struggle to accept mistakes I've made, or ways I've done work that in a way that I don't respect now. I'm like, oh God, I beat myself up for that stuff.
You still do that presently?
Yeah. A lot of my work with my therapist is around like being okay with growing, and like, I'm like, but I need to have it all right and not harm anyone. And like, I can't do this work if I'm like, at any point I accidentally harm anyone, like I'm a piece of shit. And she's like, oh, you're a human being doing this work and it's really good work and you have to learn as you go. And I'm like, shut up. I don't pay you to tell me the truth. You know, like, that's too hard for the homework for therapy. I can't do that kind of stuff. That's too hard. So I really struggle with that still. I don't struggle as much. I don't struggle with compassion for people. Like, I don't even struggle. I have compassion for people who have done really fucked shit. And because of all the understanding of systems and stuff, I just think I understand why no one is born misogynistic. Like, no one is born racist. Like, I think hold them accountable, have to have repair conversations, have to make sure that if harm has occurred, there is accountability and there is repair. Like, I believe in that. But I also have a lot of compassion for kind of everyone I come into contact with. But forgiveness is different to compassion, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
How is it different?
I would say it's, compassion. I think forgiveness is more rooted in acceptance and a release of control.
Oh, no. I can't do that then.
I was just going to say
Perfect.
acceptance. Yeah.
Yeah.
Release of control is interesting for forgiveness.
Yeah.
I think because accepting one thing to me, and you guys, I would love to hear your thoughts, is different than accepting it and then letting go of it.
Yeah. When I think about forgiveness and the way that the people I look to in this work, like my North Stars in this work, have talked about forgiveness, that does reflect that letting go of control does reflect how they speak. Like bell hooks, or like the way they speak about forgiveness is like as much for you and your ability to like let something lie and let something go and release all the feelings around it as it is for the other person too, which feels like a letting go of control. You don't have to manage it. You don't have to manage your own feelings. You have to manage them. That feels, maybe that resonates for me. And I can't do
did
that.
it again.
Oh my God.
No room for improvement,
Michael
baby.
It's the worst.
The worst. I can't.
What do you?
I can't forgive. Like I can't forgive collectively. Let's say that. Like I can't look at groups of people who. I struggle to forgive men collectively for what they've built. I have compassion and understanding around it, but I really struggle. At the same time, I know what's happened, but I really struggle. Like I'm angry, and there's a lot of grief around that. Like, so maybe I can't access forgiveness yet because there's too much grief and anger around that, or frustration at what's been built or what's happened to me.
I mean, I truly think that the fact that you're able to access compassion is pretty impressive to me, because we haven't been doing a good job at nearly anything, especially when you factor in how it affects women. So the fact that you can access compassion for me is remarkable.
Yeah, it can be tricky sometimes, but it feels important because I don't know if your response to that harm that's been caused, if our response as a community of women, it's like so generalizing because there's all different women of all different, backgrounds and sexuality and experiences and whatever. It's not a centralized movement. But if you look at like the feminist movement in one pocket where, in the UK or whatever, you go like, okay, the response to men as a collective and what they've built is to be like, fuck you, actually, you're all fucked. Let's do something better. It's like, I can understand that response. But I don't know that works. I don't know that that's as useful. And I also don't know that meeting the inequality with like, without compassion will do much. Like I almost think like the best movements that have worked have had compassion at the root of them. They've been able to like invite people in and meet somewhere, and you need compassion for that because you can't connect without that. Like I couldn't walk into a room of boys in a workshop and hold them and meet them where they're at and hold them in where they are without compassion. Like it might be more comfortable for me to be like, fuck those boys, are all fucked. Like that might me feel good for a moment, but it's not going to get me anywhere in the work.
Fuck. One of the things I'm working on in therapy is meeting people where they are, and you saying to meet somebody where they are requires compassion. Well, that's unfortunate.
How do you feel about that? It sounds like
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
It's just way easier for me if everybody can just figure it out,
Of course.
But that's not real. That's not
about
life.
you. Yeah, we're all thinking that about each other.
Okay, you don't know what anybody's thinking about me. Let's start there.
No, you're right. You probably are the only person in the world that no one's like, I hope you figure this thing out.
She gets it.
You have not seen our comment section.
Yeah.
Oh no! Oh no!
And we know that. Grrr. Jesus.
That's a bear.
It's not.